Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Bird's Eye View, and I am the War Duck, and I am here with the lovely Mr. Krow, as always.
What's up, everybody? Thanks.
So, there's kind of an interesting thing that's going on right now, and it took a few years, but people are starting to get fed up, and they're starting to have a little bit of backlash. So let's just start out with this headline here. And you have hypocritical defund the New York Police Department advocate moved out of Harlem for safety issues. So Assemblywoman Lynn Neo, Democrat, Lower Manhattan, she, had campaigned to defund the police, and then now she says, I was actually robbed when I was living in Harlem. My boyfriend at the time, my fiance, didn't think I was safe up there. Well, yeah, you fucking took all the funding away from the police so they can't do all that stuff. Duh. So this is one of the things that the Democrats have always done is, got to defund the police and take police out, and if they don't get the shot, then they can't work in policing no more. And so when you have a shortage of police in certain areas, the criminals are like, hey, do I go to the place where there's a bunch of police, or do I go to the place where there are no police?
It's where you go shopping. Are you going to go where there's a better price?
Yeah. So duh, the criminals are going to go where there's no police. Okay.
Yep, exactly.
So that's one of the things that have been happening the last few years. Now,
I didn't realize that was 4 years ago. That was just 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. It's in effect now.
And then so now we have super high gas prices, and the government, the Biden administration has just been printing money. Let's just send $1 trillion over to Ukraine, and then we'll give everybody, $6,000 or $8,000 this year, and then we'll just print some more money. And then now gas is like $6 a gallon, and milk costs like $4 a gallon, and what? There's backlash because President Biden suggests inflation is a chance to make fundamental turn to clean energy. So he finally said it out loud, right? He doesn't care about inflation. He doesn't care about the gas prices. This fits right into his agenda of clean energy and electric cars that all of the Democratic Republicans the Democratic congressmen have all invested heavily in before they decided to move this way, right? Like Nancy Pelosi, if I remember right, owns a whole bunch of Tesla and some other electric car companies or something like that. And they're just making hand over fist because they're making the rules up.
Yeah.
But now people are getting mad about it, right? It took a couple years, but people are like, hey, wait a minute. But he finally said it out loud. I don't care about gas prices. I don't care about inflation because it'll make you go to clean energy, and that's my agenda. And then we have this one.
There's more.
There's more, right? It's been this transgender erasure of women's rights and fundamental, like for women's sports and stuff like that. I got to get this Hillary Clinton out of my view. Ugh. Anyway, you have this dude with his junk in the locker room with women. Leah Thompson's in there swinging Dak around, taking a shower with the other girls, and we talked about this.
Yep.
But now people are fighting back, and they're saying, nope, she cannot compete, or he or she cannot compete in women's competition. They're talking about opening up an open field where anybody can go, but if you are not transitioned by 12 years of age before puberty, then you would not be able to compete against women. And
Well, that's interesting. Okay.
like, I don't think that's even right. Like, for me, if you are born with an X chromosome, then you can compete in women's sports. If you are born with an XY in your DNA, then you cannot do women's sports. I don't care how old you are. But what they're saying is before 12, you haven't hit puberty and gained all those benefits from going through. And I kind of get it. The opposition from this is, well, now you're going to force kids to change before 12. Which is which is completely stupid, because no 12-year-old kid goes, my God, I have to, or no, 11-year-old kid goes, oh my God, I have to transition now or I won't be able to compete in the other gender sport. Yeah. Right? It's like, that just doesn't even, that's not even in a kid's brain at that point. And if it is, it's because the parents shoved it down their throat and conditioned them to think there was something wrong with them and they needed to change gender. That's just, and that's just wrong. That should be prosecuted as child abuse, in my opinion. But we'll move on.
That's something entirely.
So now Leah Thompson can no longer swing dick with the rest of the women in the competition. So she's got to go somewhere else. So
that's awesome, though. I'm glad to hear that they're moving into an open. Here's open.
And rugby was also going to follow suit.
Okay.
So you would have women's, you would have an open division, and then you would have men's. Which, for me, it should just be women's and then open. Because who cares if you're a woman transitioning and you're going to compete against a guy? Like, who gives a shit, right? Go ahead.
Who cares?
Go ahead, 30-year-old lady that wants to be a dude now and then go compete against a bunch of dudes that have been dudes their whole life. Whatever. Like, okay.
Have at it.
You know, but I
agree.
But whatever. Like, but women's sports and women's activities needs to be protected for just women, because they just have an uncompetitive advantage, or women have a disadvantage, and if you were born a man, you just have the advantage of that testosterone in your system that does everything for you, makes you just bigger, stronger, faster. That's just the way it is. And even your bone structure is different, which is why, still for me, I say if you weren't born XX, then you still shouldn't be able to compete in women's thing, because your skeletal design is just different. That's just that's a genetic fact. Your skeletal design is just different. But whatever. They're at least they're doing something.
At least they're trying something, yeah.
And
they've made a step forward.
So what are you in when you're 12 years old? You're what, 8th grade? No. You're 5th grade? 7th? So 16 sophomore, 15's freshman, 14, 8.
Yeah, you're 6
13.
to 7.
Okay, so you're 6 to... See, to me, that's even still too late.
Yeah, it's like you're in 7th grade, in junior high, basically in the U.S., you're starting to get the competition.
In 7th grade, I remember chicks had some, and...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So...
They started.
Yeah.
They started.
And I know they start before guys, but still. Like...
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, for me, if you're XX, that's it. If you're XY, then you're over there. But I don't know. Okay. So
I think it's I don't know. I agree with you. Your statements there of, if you're XY, then you should just be other.
Yeah.
Just you compete in
you can declare yourself a woman, you can look like a woman, you just can't compete against them. So what is all this? What is all these headlines, and what does all this mean? Anyway, well, that brings us to the point of this video. Is the Democrats are in serious trouble. More than 1 million voters have switched to GOP in warning for Democrats, is what this is talking about. And those are all the things why, right? Is crime in those cities are rampant. Right? You have women's rights being erased, and the ability to compete and do all those other things are being erased. And then you have, Biden just be like, oh, I don't care that I know you were making $50,000 a year at one point, and now you can't afford to get gas or milk for your kids, but you should get an electric car that costs you $45,000.
And lasts half the time.
And last half the time, yeah. And then if the batteries go bad, it costs you half of the car, the purchase price to fix it.
Yeah. Wasn't it like, yeah, about 3/4 of the car again?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So this is the thing, is the country is super unhappy. Joe Biden has the lowest presidential rating in the history. And Kamala Harris is, I think, the historic low for a vice president, which is ridiculous because the vice president, like any backup quarterback, is usually the most popular person. Right?
Should be. Yeah.
But she is such a wackadoo. And
she's mad.
Biden is...
I don't even know if he's really there sometimes.
He doesn't even know where the hell he is. I mean, you saw him riding the bicycle, or he rides a bicycle. He puts his foot down, then he goes... It's like, yeah, both feet, bro. Both feet.
I think I've watched that so many times, but yeah, I think he couldn't get his foot off the pedal.
And like when he leaves after the thing, right, he turns around and he's like, you take a couple steps, and then
yeah, he's completely lost.
Oh, you're waving me. Oh, okay, I'll go over there. And then his card, walk out and sit down. Say hello.
I know.
Don't pick your nose.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh my God, you seriously have to have a card that tells you what to do and where to sit. It's like, that's just, it's asinine. It's just ridiculous. This is the state of our country, and Democrats have pushed this on us. They have pushed this on us. They have pushed so far that people, even that were on their side, are now switching to the other side because it is just ridiculous. I mean, sure, Trump was a jackass, but I sure enjoyed my gas prices and my food bill way a lot more than I do now. So I could put up with some mean tweets if my gas prices were half is what because they're literally half. My gas price was half of what it is now. Actually, below half. Because it was $2.90 something at one point during the Trump administration, and now it's $6 flipping. Well,
see, I think it was like I think it even got down to like $2.19, $2.20 around that.
Yeah, so it's more than doubled your gas price, and I'm pretty sure milk is more than doubled. So whatever you were making before, you now have half as much money because everything is twice as expensive now.
And I agree with you too. Is like now when I see Biden get up there or any kind of things, like Biden's going to go speak to whatever, and I'm just like, oh, what is he going to say now? And like, is he going to be able to get his point across? Where when it was Trump, you're just like, oh, please don't say anything. Like, don't say what's really on your mind. Don't say what's really on your mind. Just because he was just ruthless. He was straight to the point. So
This article says the AP examined nearly 1.7 million voters who had likely switched affiliations across 42 states.
Wow,
that's a huge number, and you're already seeing the red wave happen. You're already seeing it. In fact, the Hispanic lady, I forgot her name, newly elected Republican in southern Texas, which hasn't happened in like 80 years or 100 years or something ridiculous. That seat had been blue. And this Mexican-born lady, married to a Border Patrol officer with her 4 kids, 4 kids, got elected.
Wow.
And her thing is, I'm a Hispanic woman with a Hispanic family, and you, Nancy Pelosi, and others do not represent the way we feel about things. Which means even that Hispanic vote is changing sides.
Wow.
Which is predominantly normally Democrats. Do you know why? Here's one for you. Do you know why Cubans aren't allowed to... That like how they block them so much from seeking political asylum and coming into the country and staying?
I know that they block them, but yeah.
Because predominantly Cubans end up Republicans.
Oh, really?
So they don't want them here. But if you're from Guatemala or Mexico, just come on over the border because you're generally, of course, that's a generalization, so not all, it's just a percentage wise, are generally democratic in nature.
Because of their upbringing and because of the culture, I'd assume.
It's a lot of
Kind of in a
things,
way.
that and probably some anti-white sentiment, but
Interesting.
they tend to be more for vote Democrat historically.
So it's definitely something.
But
They
if
have an
you're
agenda.
Cuban, get the hell out of here because we know you're going to vote Republican. So go away. Float yourself
Wow.
back. Interesting, isn't it?
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know any of that. Okay.
So, but things are changing, and the wave has already started, and it will just continue the next 2 years until the presidential election happens. And it doesn't really matter who. This is my opinion. Is it doesn't matter what Republican runs, whether it's Trump or the Florida guy DeSantis.
Yeah.
They're gonna win, especially if they think that they're gonna put up Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or
Oh.
Hillary Clinton.
I
Any
could
of
see- I
those,
could
it
see
won't
Kamala
matter. It
Harris.
won't matter what Republican runs; they'll win by a landslide. It just won't matter.
Wow.
Because
I could see Camilla trying to run though.
well, everything hinges on Joe Biden, right? She can't really run if Joe Biden runs. If Joe Biden runs, it's
True.
kind of Joe Biden's by default.
I just don't see. I don't know. My gut just says if he runs again and people vote for him again, like really?
I don't see how.
You
I don't
learn?
see how they can. Like, it would, like, you would have to be the absolute biggest moron in the world to believe his lies all over again and to vote for him again and be like,
'Cause he's gonna have to do the same thing
well,
again.
I guess, my income that's only half now, I guess that's good for me, and I guess I'll vote for him again, and I would like to see gas prices at $12. So yeah, I guess I'll vote for Joe Biden. So sure, why not? It's like I blow my freaking brain how somebody could rationalize that. Now, I've watched enough TikTok videos to know that people are way out there, but that's scary. Like believing the Earth is flat is more believable than Joe Biden's gonna actually do anything for you. Like. That's how bad it is, right?
It's going out there.
You can't believe anything Joe Biden says. I would believe somebody that thinks the Earth's flat before I would believe anything Joe Biden says.
Well, the thing is, you just, at least from what I've seen and from what I know, and not that I know a lot, but from what I have seen, Joe is being coached and being told from behind the scenes, and I'm sure, to an extent, every president has somebody who's informing him along things, right? Like, for example,
no, I mean, guaranteed. Their whole staff is always telling them,
here's what's next. Here's what to do.
Right.
It's upcoming. It's what you need to do because he's got so much.
Yeah.
I believe that. I understand that. But like this guy is just not there.
Yeah.
He's not there.
Walk out, turn left, sit down in blue chair. And I mean,
this guy is a mess. Is a mess.
Yeah, he is a mess. And here's the other thing is he's using the FBI illegally to infringe on people's rights. They raided Project Veritas, which is a news media, illegally against their protection and the First Amendment because his daughter's diary was stolen, even though it wasn't. She just left it somewhere. And the reason they were so upset about it is because she mentioned how he made her feel sexually uncomfortable and how he attributed to her her disorder about how she feels about sex and stuff like that. About him taking showers with her when she was older and it made her feel uncomfortable.
What the?
Right? But you never heard any of this, right? So go to Project Veritas and listen and watch their videos and it'll tell you about it, all that stuff. It's crazy. The FBI is investigating a stolen diary that wasn't stolen. The FBI.
Wow.
Right? The FBI is investigating a stolen diary. The FBI is not the president's personal investigation branch. Well, apparently it is right now, but it's not supposed to be.
I'm trying. I have another acronym for FBI, but let's see it. Just no. We'll leave it at that.
So if you watched our previous video right before this, where we talked about privacy invasion, and now you know what the president's doing, it's just, I don't know. Like, it blows me away that he was the most popular president ever with all the votes he got anyway. But the fact that anybody's still on his side is you're a moron. I'm sorry. There's nothing else I can say except you are a moron, and you need to take your blue blinders off and actually look at what's happening in the world and look what's happening here in this country. Like, crime is crazy, and your privacy is gone, and your money that you once saved up for retirement or whatever thing is gone. It used to be like, oh, if I had $1 million, I could retire and be fine. Not with these prices.
So who ran with Joe Biden, like against Joe Biden for that?
Wasn't it Billary?
Was it Hillary? Oh man,
I can't remember. I thought it was Billary, but I'm not exactly sure. I know that like Bernie Sanders was one of them.
Oh yeah, Sanders.
I don't know who all of them were, but they were all bad.
Yeah, that's the thing is, I'm just like these people were all messed up. Could you imagine if Billary was there? Oh my god.
Yeah. So here's the thing though. Here's the thing is, this is with the Democrats pushing all this stuff, trying to impeach the Supreme Court, trying to get rid of the filibuster and do all this stuff. What do you think's going to happen in 2 years when not only is the Senate or the House or whatever all Republicans and the president's a Republican? They're going to knee-jerk reshift everything back, and it's going to get a whole lot worse for the Democrats, because they'll probably change the rule for the bill to remove the filibuster. It has to be unanimous vote, or, I mean, it's going to be some ridiculous stuff because they have to, right? The Democrats have pushed so far the other direction that people are so fed up, they're starting to push back and switching sides. And so when that happens, it's going to get knee-jerk corrected back the other way. We have lost that medium where it used to be, we have a Democratic president, they're not horrible. We have a Republican president, they're not horrible. Now they're like two opposite ends of the spectrum. And
it's
so
far out.
Don't get me wrong, I have no love for Trump. I think he's a flipping moron.
He's an idiot.
But the stuff that he does was helping our country. I guarantee, with Trump as president, Putin would not have invaded Ukraine. No way. Because here's Putin. Oh, we need to take over Ukraine. But we don't know what that moron Trump's going to do. So I guess we'll just wait until he's out of office, because that's the honest truth, right? He's so unpredictable. Yeah. You have no idea what the hell he is going to do. And he wouldn't let you do it.
That's something I tried to tell, like, I think Trump was, he was a moron idiot. You just didn't know what he was going to say and how he did it. But he did know how to run a company, or he knew how to run business.
If he had just shut the hell up and not tweet, we probably would have got reelected. But he's just dumb. He's been in the limelight with this TV stuff and reality shows so long, like he doesn't understand reality of how people react to things. And so, but like you said, keep his mouth shut sometimes. He knows how to make money. He knows how to run company. He knows how to run those aspects of a country. And being so unpredictable is not necessarily a bad thing when you're president, because the other country's leaders are like, I ain't messing with that guy right now. I don't know what the hell he's going to do. So,
And yeah, there's people out there who argue against me all the time when I'm like, well, he knows how to run a company. Yeah, that's why he filed for bankruptcy. Well, you learn from your mistakes too, you know? But and he course corrected and made changes, and that's
Well, the thing
it's
is,
just
he may file bankruptcy, but he ain't broke. He's still got a hell of a lot more money than I got.
yeah.
And I've never claimed
Just
bankruptcy, and I have a credit score of 800 and something. If I could claim bankruptcy and come out a millionaire, I'd fucking do it too.
I do it. Yeah.
I mean, damn. But that's not the way reality works for some of us. So,
No.
all right.
Just
So,
yeah, he knew how, but
the red wave is coming. Make sure you go out
vote
and vote. And as long as you're voting red,
now.
if you're voting red, go vote. If you're voting blue, just stay at home because you guys you guys have lost it and you've ruined this country already. And we need to get back. We need to make America great again, with whoever the hell it is. Like I don't, as long as it's not some whack job Republic or a Democrat pushing agendas and removing our rights and telling me I have to get injected with some shit that I don't trust or I lose my job and all this other stuff, then you guys can go suck a dick. It's got to be a Republican. It's got to be a Republican. Because that's, I mean, right? Because there's the thing is, a year ago it was no, the government has the right to tell you what to do with your body. Well, the Supreme Court rules now. All of a sudden, it's my body, my rights. You can't have it both ways. It's one or the other. Pick one and stick with it. And you picked. The government has the right to tell you what to do with your body. If you voted Democrat, that's what you voted for. And so now karma's got you. And Roe versus Wade was overturned. And so now the states have control of abortion because it's not in the Constitution. And the Supreme Court overruling Roe versus Wade literally had zero to do with abortion, right? It actually had to do with, did the federal government have the right or did the states have the right to make these decisions? And now that the states have the rights.
Yeah, and this was something I've been discussing.
The federal government gave it back to the states to decide.
And you as a person have more impact on your state. And that's where, like, I know a lot of people are upset and frustrated, but I'm like, how are you mad? You have more power now. You have more. It's not going to change in the next 4 months, but you have more power.
But it goes back to the same thing. Is you guys, the people that voted blue, were so about you don't have the right to not have a shot. It's the government has the right to tell you what to do. And now that the government's saying, hey, well, if we have the right to tell you what to do, then okay. But now you're like, oh, wait, no, my body, my rights. It's like you made this bed and now you have to lay in it. Do I agree with it? That has nothing to do with it. I didn't choose to get the shot. I didn't want the shot. I don't want the shot. I didn't get the shot. And so I'm being punished for it. Well, guess what? That's your fault.
Yeah.
So if you're blue, stay at home. If you're red, go vote, and let's get this country back, because that's where we need to go.
I just wish you could just vote smart.
Right.
That's all my opinion is.
I can't drop my mic.
All right, everyone.
All right,
Thanks so much for tuning in. Let us know your comments. I know there's got to be some upset people. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
We'll see. Let's talk about it.
Comment either way. I answer all the comments. Much love all.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see you next time all. Bye. Drop.